What's up, YouTube? Anthony Lee Loops here, taking a break from the looping and getting back to my foundation here on the drums and percussion. Hand percussion, to keep it the simplest to start. In addition to performing, I teach really for my main living, and love to teach music. And so I'm excited to create this video and many more to come that I can teach and share some of my experience with you that I've learned from great teachers and learn from great mistakes that I've made and fix things along the way. A lot of which from listening and watching myself play and having that audience perspective that you just can't get while you're up on stage playing. So this is my djembe, and I really love this drum because I can really mimic drum set grooves, which is my foundation. So I wanted to start today with this very first lesson of, again, hopefully many more to come on various instruments. With some simple ways to get started on a djembe or really any hand drum that you can get a couple different tones out of, particularly your high tone, which I'll use more the tip of my fingers to get, and sort of a bass tone, which will be using more of the palm of my hand, either hand really. And as a righty, and I guess most people by just numbers and are right-handed people. I'm a right-handed person, not to discriminate against the lefty, but surely any of these patterns can be reversed to lead with the left, and I'll do it a couple times. But I'm going to be very right-hand dominant in this first video for these first few patterns to show you. So first of all, just single strokes, and by single strokes meaning alternating right to left, one stroke on each. And I'm going to count in sort of a 16th note pattern for those who are comfortable and familiar with that. One E and So one E and So my one and my and are my right hand, and my E and my are my left hand. And I'll count with a 2-beat pattern. So 1 E and 2 E and 1 E and 2 E and And if you count it 1 E and like a robot, it's going to sound and feel like a robot. If you flow it like 1 E and 2 E and you'll have a much more flowing feel as you go through here. 1 E and 2 E and 1 E and 2 E and get this sort of train leaving the station, chugging along pattern, trying to go even to start, all the same volume, and then experimenting with really one of the greatest things you can create in your music is dynamics, different louds and softs to create that kind of feel and latch on to the groove. So it's something as simple as straightforward notes, one strike after the other, all on this high tone, can be made much more interesting with dynamics. So just volume creating a much more interesting pattern. But of course we can use not notes here, but tones to alternate and create some more interesting patterns in combination, of course, with our dynamics, our volumes. So for some, again, beginning super simple ideas to get started playing some grooves in your home by yourself or in a drum circle with your friends, or really so many different settings. Again, on this drum or pots and pans. I really was considering making this video with pots and pans, but I thought I should stick to a traditional instrument to start, at least before I got too crazy and out of control with my kitchen cabinets. So for starters, I'm going to use my right hand to start here to dominate that bass kind of sound on the beats. So by that I mean on my 1 count and on my 2 count. E and are going to be up here on my high tone. So 1 E and 2 E and 1 E and can obviously build things up. Always want to start slow and steady and get comfortable with that muscle memory. How far is my hand going to go to get that sweet sound I'm looking for? My drum is, I think, a 12-inch head diameter here. Your drum may be bigger. It may have a slightly different sweet spot. You've got to get to know your drum or your pots and pans, or whatever you're hitting on the bottom of your hamper or laundry basket, whatever is laying around, you want to convert into your musical instrument for the moment. So right hand dominating for right there on the beats. 1 E and a 2 E and a 1 E and a 2 E and a. If I'm creating some different volumes, I can again spice that up a little more. 1 E and a 2 E and a 1 E. That's with my right hand dominating. Again, of course, I can flip that if you're more comfortable leading with the left. Your left hand would be on the beats 1 and 2, and your left hand would then be moving back and forth. So I've got this beat and of the beat, beat and of the beat, and whichever hand, if I'm going to lead with my right, then my left hand is kind of the helper hand in this case on the E and the 1 E and 2 E and and I can get this nice back and forth motion going. 1 and 2 and 1 and 2 and E and E and E and E and 1. One more idea for this starting video to not make it too long before we get to something interesting that maybe you can catch right on and have some fun with is moving these hands back and forth, alternating, having most of the hits being up here on the higher tone, which could be like a hi-hat in your drum set, or if hit loud enough or a little bit accenting in those volumes, could sound sort of like a snare drum. And using this for my kick drum with either hand. So both hands covering both of those tones with volumes to make it sound sort of interesting. So rather than always being on the beat, 1 E and a 2 E and a, I can create something slightly different than that, which makes it a whole lot more interesting. 1 E and a 2 E and a 1 E and a 2 E and a. So again, to break that down, 1 E and a 2 E and a 1 E and a 2 E and a. So I'm hitting that second bass tone on the E of 2. If I was going to label it, I guess, in the best way, the E of that second beat. 2 E and a. So 1 E and a 2 E and a 1 E and a 2 E and a. So you got to kind of see it coming to get that left hand moving forward on that E after my right hand handles the 2. As you notice, though, my right hand is staying on the beats and the ands of the beats, even though they're in different tones. And my left hand, just like before, is sticking to the E's and the U's. I'm just kind of changing where they're located to have a more interesting pattern. And that's really all that, not to oversimplify percussion and music in general. Steady rhythm can be made to sound very interesting by moving those notes and tones up and down. So, one more time on that one. And adding in the volumes to finish the whole thing off to get that kind of drum set funky groove. 1 E and a 2 E and a 1 E and a 2 E and add in sort of a accented or a really emphasized volume here, strike on my high tone to get that snare, that pop, that upbeat. I can do that on a couple different beats, but I think the original one I went with was 1 E and a 2 E and a 1 E and a 2 E and a 1 E and a 2 E and a. So I'm accenting the ands. 1 E and a 2 E and a 1 E and a 2 E and a. So my right hand, 1 E and a 2 E and a 1 E and a 2 E and a 1 E and a 2 E. So really light on that 2 with the right hand, just to kind of keep those steady going, streaming notes, beats going. And my left hand, a little bit trickier to be counting it off the beat, but I'm starting up here. 1 E and a 2 E and a 1 E and a 2 E and a. So first beat, 1 E and a, and then I'm starting the second beat here on 2 E and a. So light, thump, hard, back to light up here. Again, a lot going on in a 2-beat, really 8-strike pattern. Little swing. First lesson. Let me know what you think. Drop a comment. Share it with somebody. Really, again, hoping to share a lot more on the djembe and on many other instruments. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you here again.